The way Tamron Hall handled Kim Burrell is everything I needed going into this fall. Period.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another Kangarees video. It is the 30th, last day of the month. September, they roll through here fast. Faster! I'm not disappearing. But I hope y'all had a good month. I hope y'all had a good week. We got a couple of things to talk about. I have actually saved up all this energy to talk about all these things and these. I might do these in 2 videos, but we're gonna see because I'm feeling myself. But yes, I recently watched the interview with Tamron Hall and Kim Burrell, and baby, the way she gagged Kim Burrell, I can do a whole video on Kim Burrell, but I feel like I've already done that. And I don't have that much energy for her. I might got a couple of minutes, but we got to talk about that. We got to talk about Rachel Dolezal and her OnlyFans situation, girl. That was something I really didn't need going into this, this new season. I didn't expect to see homegirl, but it is what it is. Gotta talk about Pete Valley being renewed. Gotta talk about our girl Rihanna hosting the Super Bowl halftime show. Gotta talk about that. Young Miami being the Black Oprah. I thought it was kind of cute. I liked it. Girl, it's a whole bunch of things. So y'all go ahead and get y'all cups, get ready, because we finna hop into the tea for today. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and get to this mental health check-in. So mental health, she's up and down. Maybe it's the weather change. Maybe it's this week has drained me. I went to the Lil Nas X concert. I was entertaining friends, had a really, really good time. But y'all know it don't take many for my social battery to be do. Girl, she's very tapped. She's going down, girl. She's going down. But I honestly want to do something tonight, but I don't know. I kind of just want to chill to myself, have some food, probably have a glass of wine, and just catch up on some shows and stuff. I might actually finish watching the Dharma series and then catch up on the Lord of the Rings show. All of those things. I'm just interested in probably just being by myself and recharging my social battery. I do have some things to go on this weekend, but I'm excited about that too. But I'm just ready for a weekend to myself. Whew, I'm so ready for that. But I hope that y'all are doing really good. I would just say, this is something normal for me. Like my social battery or something. Like I don't want anybody, friends to, if they're watching this, to take it personal. Just I enjoy being around people. I love being around people. I love being in conversations. I love everything about spending time with my friends. And then 2 of my friends that made up, thank God, girl, because they was doing the most. But if you have a large friend group, girl, it's gonna be some bumping heads, girl. I'll probably be next in the next couple of days. Who knows? But with that being said, girl, I can't talk about the Lil Nas X concert. I guess we'll move on. I've already talked about it on Patreon. I did a rough uncut what's the name about it and all of the things on Patreon. Check that out. I will be doing the last 2 reviews of Real Housewives of Atlanta on Patreon. I'm just not reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, girl. I'm just not. Girl, we done with this mental health check-in. Let's get into the tea for today. The tea for today is, let me just go back. Real Housewives of Atlanta, I will be doing the review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, the last part of the reunion, on Patreon. Sign up on the 1st, girl. If you don't sign up today, sign up on the 1st starting tomorrow. I will be making some change for those who are on Patreon. I will be posting more content to those who have a $10 tier on up. Girl, gonna be getting a little bit more tea, since y'all be wanting to leak all of my stuff on the timeline, and y'all got Nicki Minaj blocked me because of it. Girl, a whole mess. Somebody took some content from Patreon and posted it on Twitter, and girl, it was just a mess. So I gotta make some changes, but still offer the same things for people who have been supporting me for almost 2 years now on Patreon. But yeah, Real Housewives of Atlanta, I just really feel like that I feel like it needs to be clipped. It's just not good. I've heard bad things about the reunion. I've not really watched. I was watching, but I just could not pay attention. It's just so much work making myself watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that's only some work I'm interested in doing on Patreon, girl. That's a lot of work, because I'm just not enjoying the show like that, but I want to complain. And we still don't have Sheree's fashions. Sheree's fashions are still not on the website. They're still not on there. She said they was gonna do it, the season reunion finale part 3. She said after it's nothing but apparel and joggers and shirts and shit. It's just, the website looks way better, I'll say that. But it's just, it's just very low budget. Like I just like Saray, you just don't have the capital to do the stuff that you're talking about. So girl, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. But let's move on. Let's talk about this Kim Burrell interview that she did with Tamron Hall. Girl, a whole flaming mess. You have Kim Burrell. You know, this summer she was at a church and she was talking about, you know, poor people, bad credit, people being ugly. She was just being very nasty like she always is. And a lot of folks were, you know, like saying, this is why I don't go to church. These are the things. And Tamron Hall just was like, hey, let's talk about this stuff. And she was giving unnecessary space, to be honest. I like Tamron Hall, but I was like, this was unnecessary for her to give her space. I didn't really feel like that Kim Burrell was deserving of it. She gave this woman like space to talk about her things, and then she was trying to blame Yolanda Adams. Like, you know, Yolanda should have called me. Like, we both from Texas, we both from West Lane, and we both in the gospel community. Baby, Tamron Hall said, girl, Yolanda is my friend, and also, I'm from Texas, a blogger, okay? Same shit. Baby, she was like, she gagged Kim Burrell. Kim Burrell sit up there with these big glasses on, right glasses, big belt. I need to watch the episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Nene was dragging Marlo. That was so funny to me. Yo, big glasses, edges. I have to watch that episode. It was so funny because Nene was clearly on something. Oh my God, that was so interesting. But yes, Kim Burrell just made a fool of herself. She just doesn't want to accept any accountability. She talking a whole bunch of nothing, talking about some, you have a whole people ganging up on her, and she doesn't mean that intent. People who not from the church don't understand. No, we understand because a lot of us are from the church. The black church is embedded in black culture. Like, we know it. Like, we know it. Even somebody as far as removed as I am from the black church, I recognize the tone in which she talks as if she knows everything and is that her word is bond and her word is everything. And you can tell Kim Burrell is she's still homophobic. She still has a problem with folks who poor. But I think what the real issue with Kim Burrell is, Kim Burrell she feels so powerful being on that podium. She feels like she can be as nasty as the world is to her. For her being a fat woman. I feel like instead of like understanding what she's experiencing and why people like all the things, anti-blackness, anti-fatness, those things, she's just rather just being in a position of power and talking down to folks. And that's what she feels the most powerful, because all of these things that she gets told about her being ugly, quote unquote ugly, all this other stuff, doesn't come up when she's in that on that podium. I think that's truly what it is. I think she's dealing with a lot of internalized anti-blackness and a lot of stuff. I think that she needs to be seeking a therapy, and I don't think that's in a quote unquote good book. You need to be picking up a real book. That's ooh, girl, I didn't mean to shade it like that. Ooh, it just came out. I really didn't mean it. But you, oh God, I know I lost 20 subscribers from that. But you be picking up a book that is going to help you with your stuff. Like, girl, it's just you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So, girl, fix that. Shout out to Tamron Hall for handling that interview and executed it brilliantly. Like, she did the thing, period. Let's move on. Let's talk about Tory Lanez. So, Tory Lanez, I'm going to talk about him very brief, girl. I woke up Thursday morning to listen to the interview on him on the Breakfast Club. I just wanted to give it. I was like, girl, let me see what it's giving. Let me see if he's going to talk about Megan. He's going to talk about, I knew he wasn't going to do it. He got on there just basically talking about his music. And girl, nobody's interested. Even though she was trending a little bit today because he dropped it, last night. I'm not really seeing much about it. I don't think it's going to be doing much numbers, to be honest. I think it's some people are saying this is a good project or whatever. You got LeBron James coming out tweeting about him. LeBron James said that he always come with some bangers, he always come with some heat, and then posted on Instagram stories of him listening to it. And some folks are dragging it and saying, hey girl, the bald head crew, they gonna stick together. I'm gonna try my best not to do that. I'm really working on myself to not talk about this man and his hair loss, because hair loss is a real thing. But Tory Lanez is he's an abuser. Like he is. Like we've constantly seen him do harm. Like we've seen the whole thing with August Alsina. August Alsina talked about him and that stuff, and you know the whole situation with Meg and how he's reacting to that. I'm not giving Tory Lanez any listens. I would listen to the interview on iHeartRadio on my Alexa, but that was about it. I'm just like, I hope she don't start talking, child. But I'm not listening to his project. I don't care if he is talented. I'm just not going to be listening to him point blank, period. But on the interview, he was ducking and dodging the questions and stuff and just didn't want to answer and all that other stuff. I can't stand when folks be talking about I'm positive energy, but you see all this other stuff in the background going on. Like, even when he was on the last time he was on the Breakfast Club, there was, like, Charlamagne made a joke about him, you know, his hair, and the cameraman was about to zoom in because Charlamagne told him to. And he got very agitated. He was like, don't bring your hands over here. Like, he was upset. He's very insecure. The man is very insecure. I don't know. He's just very insecure. He's a grown man that's insecure, and they are the worst. They are the worst. And he has a little bit of power. He has some money. He has some influence and stuff. So, girl, it's a mess. So, Tory, I'm not checking for Tory Lanez. Interview was a waste of time. Don't even waste your time trying to watch it. He didn't talk about anything important. Anything. And I hope they lock him up. Point blank, period. That's all I got. Like, he's just a violent person, and I just really don't care for him. But let's talk about some good news. Some good news that P-Valley has been renewed for season 3 and 4. The girls are very excited. I am the girls. I'm very excited that, you know, the show is being renewed. Stars. But there's a little bit of, you know, conversation about the creator is just not too happy about, you know, how Stars has treated the project and all the other stuff. Stars need to get it together. Y'all need to get it together. I feel like P-Valley is one of those shows that if invested in well, it is going to be that shining show. Like, if we invest in it and give it some time, I feel like for that show to be coming out in 2020 and just now coming out 2 years later and people are just as interested and even more saying that the season 2 was good means that this show has potential to grow an audience over time. And I feel like they just need to stick with it. But these networks are looking for something very quick. They want something quick and they want big subscriber numbers immediately. You see that already right now with the House of the Dragon. What's going on with that? Like, they are I feel like they're kind of rushing it. The show is good, but they're rushing it because they don't want to wait on folks to fall in love with it. They want them to be in love with it now. But they know they have to tell the beginning story, but sometimes people don't want to stay around for the beginning story. But it is what it is. But girl, like, I'm happy for P-Valley, but I'm hoping Stars gets it together because the show is really good. If you've not seen it, definitely check it out. I did reviews for the last season on Patreon. Check that out. I liked it. I liked it. But let's move on to some other tragic news. And that is, oh my God, Rachel Dolezal. Baby, she got her OnlyFans. I did not expect. I'm just scrolling on Twitter and all I know is I see the girl who what's her name? Munch. It looked like her with 40 years on her. It's no shade. Rachel Dolezal had on this wig, this black, and she had her clappers out. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not posting the video. I'm not posting the picture. But Rachel Dolezal had her clappers out. And I bet you know what these black men subscribing. I guarantee you these black men are sending her tips. I guarantee you they paying for them. They paying for them sour cream chip clappers. They paying for them, girl. Oh God! But Rachel Dolezal, she gotta do what she gotta do, girl. I can't believe we still talking about Rachel Dolezal. I just can't believe, like, I never needed to know. There should have been a warning label on that. It should have been a warning on that, like triggering content. Like, I do not want to see Rachel Dolezal like derriere and sour cream. I just don't want to see her unsalted buttery butt. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. But girl, you want to see it? Go on Twitter, type in grade. I was shook. I was shooken. But yeah, I also want to talk about the situation with PNB because it made a lot of noise after the death of the rapper artist PNB. You know, him and his girlfriend were at the Roscoe Chicken and Waffles, and apparently, like, sadly, he was murdered because they were trying to get his money, his chain, or whatever. And you had a lot of folks get on social media and was saying, "Stop posting y'all location. Stop posting y'all location. This is what happened. Like, the baby mama was responsible. The girlfriend, she should have never posted a picture of the stuff. She should have never did that." Like, people were blaming her. You even had celebrities blaming her. Nicki Minaj was one of the celebrities that blamed her, without like saying it. But she was like, we live in a dangerous world. Literally predators. Girl, you're married to a predator. Like, are you serious? Like, girl, are you okay? And you had a lot of folks just coming down on the baby mama, well, not the baby mama, the girlfriend. They were just coming down like, this woman just lost her boyfriend. She just experienced the most traumatizing situation ever. To see someone like that whole experience and people were blaming her, that would push me to the brink of just ending it all. Like, I just couldn't imagine losing somebody like that and then also being blamed for it, and like now you wrestling with, was I blamed? Was I at fault? And come to find out, the person who caused this thing was already at the restaurant. The person who did the crime was already at the restaurant. They didn't find the location, no nothing. They were already there. So all of y'all who were tweeting and saying something, y'all apology needs to be as loud as y'all initial response, because y'all were in that, like, y'all were, oh my God, it was so bad. Even the Instagram blogs were posting it and making it seem as though she was responsible, and not come to find out, the truth is out, that this woman, none of her posting, none of that. Like, folks said, you stop posting your social media, you need to stop doing, like, what we need to be really truly talking about is the fact that this black artist couldn't even sit in a dining room enjoying food with his family without being subjected to harm. Like that's what we need to be talking about. Like, this what, like, all of these things that's going on that's causing young men to do stuff like this. But it's like, no, just blame the baby mama. Just blame the baby mama, blame the girlfriend. She was the one, she should have never, you need to move in silence. It's like, girl, like, and then I understand there was some conversation, Ice Cube came out and said, y'all gotta stop wearing these big chains, like, you don't do this type of stuff out, like, you don't wear your big chains and stuff out in public, like, girl, these folks are not, like, people are breaking into cars, not even knowing there's stuff in there, they're just breaking into cars. There was nothing in my car was broken into a couple years ago. They just broke into it, there was nothing in there. I actually had like a $20 bill, they didn't even take that. They was looking for a gun. But I didn't have one in there. But like, we need to be talking about all the things that are happening if we truly want some type of change. But we're not interested in change. We're interested in victim blaming. It's really ridiculous. Like, that's all we're interested in, and it's really, really sad. But I'm glad that this truth has come out. I'm glad that people are like now like saying, oh, but it doesn't matter because the damage has already been done. People are already running with, like, putting the responsibility of this man's death on his girlfriend, which was really, really sad. I did like that Cardi B, was very vocal about that, and she tweeted about, like, that y'all need to apology. Like, sometimes my girl, sometimes the girl, like, sometimes Cardi B be wrong. She was definitely wrong for the whole thing with Art V posting her video. But in this instance, she was definitely right. I'm glad that she actually spoke up about that. Sometimes she'd be a miss, but sometimes she'd be a hit. But yes, those are my thoughts on that. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Y'all seen the story develop and all of that. I'm gonna move on to part 2 of the video because we got a lot of other things to cover. So stay tuned.